I'm trying to process something on the floor here, because both times that I've had a reading or a discussion about The Wonderful Lady B, I've had someone come up to me and say something so impactful, it gives me whiplash. When the book first came out, I had somebody come to my first reading, my first talkback at Nocturne, and she came up to me and she thanked me for writing Felix as the way that I wrote him and speaking about him so fondly and making him a person and writing a positive representation for a romantic lead who was visibly disabled. And obviously, I was flattered that she was being so kind to me. And I said, okay, thank you. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, but you deserve better than me. Like my stupid little book about a flesh-eating immortal woman in the Victorian era should not be like your basis for good disabled representation. Like you should have something better written than what I make be that impactful for you. You deserve better than me. And today at Oberon's Coffee Society, I had somebody come up and talk to me who has followed me for such a long time, and she's been such a fan of the series, and it was so great to get to meet her in person. And we were talking, and she was so excited that there was Korean mythology representation coming up in the next book. And she was so excited. And she even said, she's like, I want to write my own stories. She's a Korean American. She's like, I want to write my own stories. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, you deserve better than me. Like, you deserve something so much more cerebral and so much more well-written than what I am able to give as your inspiration. In my dumb little book about two monsters eating people and being depressed, it does not register to me that anything I write is impactful. And I'm a silly little woman who writes silly little books about silly little monsters. And I'm so happy. I'm so fucking happy that somebody read my book and saw a part of themselves and thought, like, I want to seek out more of this, or I might write my own stuff because I have this experience. That's what I fucking want. Like, obviously, I want stuff that I write to unlock things in people, and I want them to realize that they are not broken and they deserve love and they should tell their own stories and they are interesting and important and smart. I just didn't think that it was actually going to happen. And now that it's happening, I have a very hard time dealing with it because I see these people who are so happy and just so grateful also and so incredible on their own. And they are inspired by something I write. And I sit there and I'm like, you should have this all the fucking time. Your life, no matter your identity or your sexuality or your gender or your race, should be a continuous game of yes and. You should see yourself represented in media, and it should be a complex representation. You deserve to see your culture reflected in the things that you read, and it should be good and compelling and smart and funny and sexy and weird and dirty and make you laugh and make you cry and make you feel uncomfortable, but also that you want to read the next thing. Yes, you should see people like you be allowed to fall in love. Yes, and that love should be as nasty and ugly and complex and beautiful as any other kind of love story that exists out there. You should read about people like you, yes, and they should run the gambit of the human experience. I don't know. Today was like so fucking rewarding, and I never forget how grateful I am that I get to do this now, and this little seed that I planted is growing, and I'm never not humble about the fact that somebody read something that I wrote and it made them want to go out and do something or be something or put something onto paper. Getting praise on this app will make your head so fucking big, and it will make you feel like the most important thing in the world for a temporary hit. But then having a conversation with a living, breathing human being that read your book and absorbed something from it that made them feel good or want to write their own and join this really complicated life of writing down your experiences and your feelings, that's a high you don't come down from. That is a permanent high, and I never want to stop it. So if you came to Oberon's Coffee Society, I don't think you realize that you're making me spiral with joy right now. But yeah, that's all I have right now. My birthday's tomorrow. I turn 30, and I'm so excited. Like, getting old is a privilege that not everybody gets to experience. And I'm so honored and privileged that this is how I ended my 20s, which were a raucous and messy and terrible time. So thank you guys so much, and good night.